What's good, everybody? It's your boy B-Day. I'm here with my boy Bailey, and we're gonna bring you guys another NBA video. This is our 2 weeks through the season, I guess you could say, our way too early award show. That's what we'll go with. Way too early. So the 4 categories we're gonna touch in today is MVP through 2 weeks. Mind you, like, all of this is through 2 weeks. These aren't projections. This is just based off what we've seen. So we got MVP, we've got Rookie of the Year, we've got our most impressive team. Now that doesn't necessarily mean the best team, because obviously the best team is the Warriors. And our most disappointing team, which also doesn't mean the worst team, because the worst team is the Cavs. How ironic. So those are the 4 categories we're gonna go through today: MVP, Rookie of the Year, most impressive, and most disappointing. What would a show be without starting off with MVP? MVP, man. I'll go ahead and touch on first because I was torn between a couple names. But I'm gonna go ahead and through 2 weeks, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out a name that doesn't get a lot of love nationally, but his numbers have stood out. His team's doing real well. Nikola Jokic. The Joker. Alright, like I said, not a lot of love nationally because he's not just the most flashy guy. His game's kind of boring. The team's not really on TV a whole lot.
He plays like that one man that, like, when you go to the gym.
That one old man.
Like that one old man that just plays the game super fundamentally sound.
Yeah,
and makes every right pass.
Bounce
it's not a flashy
passes.
pass, but it's the right pass in the right spot at the right time. That's exactly what Jokic is.
That is him. Like. He's averaging 23 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, and 6 assists as a center. And I don't know if you guys watch the Nuggets, but there are multiple plays every game where he gets the rebound and guards aren't even looking for the outlet. Like, he's on his Draymond, like, everybody go, take off, I'll bring it up the court and initiate the offense. And when you have a guy like that as your 5, it just unlocks the team so much because guys like Jamal Murray, Gary Harris can get out on the wings and go spot up. He's also shooting 40% from 3. He also had a perfect triple-double this year through 2 weeks. I think he missed just 1 free throw.
Yeah, he missed a free throw.
Aside from that, like, literally perfect from the field. The numbers are there. The team success is there. So through 2 weeks, I think my guy for MVP would be Jokic through 2 weeks.
So for my guy, I'm gonna go with the dude that basically everybody knows. Basically, he's
polar opposites.
He's changed the game of basketball. Every kid is him now. When you go into your gym, you see remnants of his game in every single gym you go to, and I have to go with Steph Curry right now. You want to talk about, most of the time your MVP is the best player on the best team. That's
fact.
Essentially what the basis is, the best player on the best team.
Right.
And right now the Warriors, as we know, is the best team, and Steph is, no offense to KD,
but through 2 weeks,
Steph is hands down been the better player.
Facts.
He's averaging 32, 5 and 5.
Oh my God.
That's ridiculous. The 5 assists is kind of low, but the 32 makes up for it. And the 5 rebounds as a 6'3" guard. You have rebounders such as Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and then Damian Jones, who a lot of people may not know, but is super athletic.
Super duper.
He's a really great rebounder. And Steph's still getting 5 a game off that while guarding basically the toughest position in the league right now. 11 threes through 3 quarters. Could have easily have broke that if he would have played any in the 4th, mind you. He's averaging a lot of these points by only playing 1 through 3 quarters. Because he sits out basically
the 4th.
9 to 10 minutes of the 4th every game.
Because they're
up 30, 40.
Yeah. Mind you, like, those are just on the on paper numbers. The impact. Talk about the impact he has, I guess, just that might not show up in Steph.
Oh, so as far as like the gravitational pull that this dude has, the gravity of like the sun, essentially, this dude has. When he crosses half court, 3 players on the defense are immediately like locked on.
You have to look at him.
Regardless if I'm guarding Clay in the corner, I'm still like in my mind thinking,
what's
like,
Steph doing?
Should I leak out to Steph real fast? Like, do I need to guard Steph? So essentially, this dude, even though KD is probably the more gifted scorer, more pure scorer, this dude is who teams plan around the most.
I would agree with that.
I feel like defensive coaches on different teams are worried more about stopping Steph and then letting KD and just trying to corral KD, other than vice versa, because
he's the engine of that team.
When you let Steph get going, that's game over. When you let Steph,
especially at home,
he's coming down, and I mean that game in 2016 when he pulled up for the game winner against the Thunder, and he pulled up for no reason from like 37,
knowing it was going in,
and then he just drained. Like when he gets going, it's game over. There's nothing you can do. Contests don't matter.
Don't matter. Not seeing.
You're not ripping them.
No.
Your bigs aren't blocking a shot.
No.
He finishes at something around 70%, 80% at the rim, and as a pure sharpshooter, that's not supposed to happen.
We'll put that clip in there. That finish.
Basically, right now the dude can't do anything wrong. The worst thing about Steph is when they blowing people out and he stops caring. He maybe has a careless turnover, and then he instantly is like, "Oh crap, I can't do that again."
But mind you,
just have to do it again.
Mind you, most of those come when they're up 30 already. So.
They're up 30 against the second string tryhards of the other team trying to solidify their roster spot. You said Jokic doesn't get a lot of credit because of the media. I feel like sometimes Steph is so good that we just expect it out of Steph.
Yeah.
And so I still feel like sometimes we need to to throw that in there for them too.
Especially like I like your point about him not even being like, in terms of talent, the best player on his team.
Yeah. Because Kevin Durant is essentially the second best player in basketball right now. But if you were to not know anything about basketball and just watch a Warriors game, you would think number 30 was the greatest player of all time.
Just the way the fans get up when he goes off. Because KD can go off and they'll be like, oh yeah, good game. Yeah, Clay can go off, they'll be like, oh yeah, cool, Clay. Steph go off, you can't hear.
Next time you go to your gym, just sit around and watch. See how many people are pulling threes from 5-6 feet behind the 3-point line.
That's a fact.
Like just look in your gym and see how many people are pulling three. How many people shoot a 3 and think it's good and turn around and run off without watching it go in.
That's a fact.
Steph did all this. This had nothing. Nobody else contributed to this other than Steph Curry.
Big facts.
He basically renovated the game essentially. Now like big like the modern big or the traditional big, the back of the basket, it's gone because when you get switched on to Steph, those bigs they're gonna clip in that Rudy Gobert clip here because this guy Steph,
absolutely right.
This is his league right now.
Yeah, and like you said, doing all this at 6'3".
At 6'3".
Next topic, Rookie of the Year.
If you didn't watch the first video, stop the video right now.
Go watch that
one and then come back and finish this one. Because like I said, Luka Doncic was the most NBA-ready player in this year's draft. And through the first 7-8 games, he's made me look like a prophet.
He didn't lie.
This dude, I'll just hit the stats first. This dude is averaging, 19-6-4? 19-6-4 as a rookie. Who, mind you, is playing 4 different positions a night.
No, really.
He's genuinely a point guard, but the Mavericks are playing him at power forward because Rick Carlisle does stuff like that. He's out rebounding bigs. He's grabbing the ball. We're running. We're going. He's excited. He's doing everything.
Step back threes.
He's got step back threes. Mind you, he got guarded by Kawhi when we played the Raptors. We lost. I'm not trying to say anything about that. He had 21. On essentially what people believe is the best two-way player in the league. This is what Luka is basically doing to our Mavs nation right now. He does nothing wrong. Like in our eyes, he does everything perfect. He may turn the ball over and have a dumb pass here, but if you ask any Mavs fan, they're like, "Oh no, that's fine.
That's that's
fine. They didn't catch the ball. Like, why did they cut that way? They should have not let their defender get there." Like right now, he's perfect and he's a poster child for the Mavs organization. And there's nobody better than I'm glad Dirk's handing the torch to than Luka.
I like it.
And just look at his game. Look at the way he's playing.
He's very smooth.
He's playing like a 6-7 year vet already.
He's very smooth.
He uses screens. He's got the defender on his hip. He's crossing over. He's not in a rush. very good at using pump fakes. He's just like most European players, crafty around the rim, using ball fakes. Yeah. I don't know if anybody saw when he we were playing the Bulls. Was it the Bulls? He completely turned around Justin Holiday with a ball fake. This is stuff that you see at your normal rec, like your normal gym, and he's doing this against the best NBA players. Yeah. Or the best players in the world, and because they all play in the NBA, I'm not gonna say best NBA players because Justin Holiday is definitely not that.
Like Justin better.
But yeah, this dude he's got the eye test, he's got the numbers. The Mavs are 2-5, so they're not like we're not winning, but we played the Spurs already this year. We played the Raptors already this year. We lost 2 that we shouldn't have to the Suns and Hawks. Yeah. But I mean, other than that,
but he played good in both of those.
And in our 2 losses to the Raptors, I said he had 21, and then last night against the Spurs. Or a couple nights ago, whenever we played the Spurs, he had 31 and 8.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Like that's just that's a Spurs. When you get 31 on the Spurs, regardless of who they have, they're a well-run organization. Right. Popovich isn't just letting rookies. Mm-hmm. I wonder the last time a rookie scored 30.
That's a good question. So originally, I was coming on here to say Trae Young, and if you look at the 2 numbers, they're very similar. I think Trae Young averages 1 or 2 more points a game. Has a couple less rebounds a game, and they shooting about around the same percentage. So I was originally coming on here to talk about Trae Young being my guy because I picked him as my dark horse for Rookie of the Year. But you made a good point, man, and I'm gonna have to say I agree with you. I think Luka. One thing that hasn't been talked enough about him in his game is how much they use him. Like, what did you say? He's leading the league in usage?
He leads the Mavs for sure in usage rate.
He shot the ball like a lot better than I thought he would from distance. Like, and I'm not talking about just threes, but like deep threes, like step back threes. He's hitting when people go under him on pick and rolls. He's fading right back and shooting it. I like the confidence he's playing with, and like you said, he's playing like he's been in the league for a while. Just very unfazed by whatever the score is, whatever, you know.
And he's kind of breaking this mantra that Europeans really can't compete in the NBA.
In guards, especially.
Because if you think about the most successful European players, the 3 players I can think off the top of my head are Dirk, Powell, and Kristaps.
They're big.
And yeah, like you said, they're all power forwards, all 7 foot tall. But like really, other than
that's
that,
a really good point. Yeah.
Rubio maybe is the best guard, like foreign guard I can think of right now in the NBA.
Yeah.
Rubio, maybe Teodosic. So
that's
really,
a really good point.
These are pass first point.
We're not counting Jamal Murray because he's from Canada and that's still in North America. So we're not counting.
But Teodosic, Sergio, what was his name? Sergio Rodriguez. Ricky Rubio, these were all pass first point guards that can maybe get you 13 a game if they're hot.
Yeah.
Luka has come over here and he's getting 19 a game as a rookie, basically being guarded by the best defender.
The best wing defender, most likely.
And he still makes a flashy pass to remind us, hey, I'm still European. I still got the craftiness in me. Mm-hmm. So I'm all for like this whole. It's basically like a European invasion, almost. Not even an international invasion right now with a lot of Australian players, a lot of European players coming over. And Luka, Ben Simmons, these guys, Embiid, these are all on the forefront of it. And
I like it, and I just really like how he plays. So like fast, but not in a hurry, is what my coach always used to say. Like. He's always looking to push it in transition, but if it's not there, it's not there. And he understands it's not there. Let's get into a set. Let's get somebody involved, you know. It'll be interesting to see, like, as time goes along. Obviously, this is just through 2 weeks, but as time goes, like, if his usage comes down, will that make him more efficient? Will that help his field goal? I think it will, because, like I said, he's shooting 40% from the field right now. It isn't great, but for a rookie, it's not awful. And I think a lot of that is due to how much he's involved. Mm-hmm. So like I think once that usage comes down, once Harrison gets back in his groove.
Yeah, I was about to say, really, when you think of it, a lot of his, we're talking about pick and rolls, he's getting to the rim. Mm-hmm. He's had dudes like Dorian Finney-Smith in the corner. Like you're not getting a whole lot of. People are helping an awful lot off of Dorian Finney-Smith. off of, like, I love Jalen Brunson, but they can help off Jalen. They can help off Dennis Smith. So really, the only person that people are having to stick out on is Wesley Matthews. And so really, unless he's driving to that side, he's having to go through help defenders, and he's still making 4 out of every 10 shots. Yeah. So I'm here for it. Hey, Mavs fan for life right here, man. MFFL, we really going for it, man. 5-year plan though. 5-year plan. It's gonna take a minute. Be patient with us.
Just to conclude, our rookie of the year through 2 weeks, Luka Doncic.